Welcome everybody to Ballers and Briefs. Week 13, Thanksgiving and Black Friday Showdown.
Let's go. You know it.
Yeah, it's we're back with one more week, and I'm just gonna be super cliche and say I'm thankful to be here because of all of you. Without all the fans and everybody that show us love every week, we wouldn't be here. And even we're thankful for the haters and the trolls too. So because anytime they pop in, that's still extra views.
I'm thankful for the growth, just the growth of the show, just the growth of the amount of people we're getting to come into this show every single week now, and the continuous people coming back each and every week. This has just been great. I'm just extremely thankful just to be able to live in a country where I can talk football in peace and not have to worry about anything except a few trolls. I love that, and I'm just thankful for all of it.
What's up, Phil? You guys,
Phil
you guys,
the building.
he's wearing his Sports for You shirt too, and I forgot. I just
Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Rep
Well,
the set.
I just want to say, like, shout out to Sports for You, John and Mark and Nick and the guys over there. Thanks for the shirts. I know they repped ours a couple times, put out tweets. Nessa even says repping the boys over there. I see it. But I think in week 16 on their showdown, the John's a big Broncos fan, so I invited him to come over on our show in week 16 and talk a little Broncos action on a Thursday night showdown. So
that sounds awesome.
So he said he would try to pop through. So that'd be cool to get a little bit of different perspective, especially for somebody that like just plays fantasy for fun, not as super into it as us, but is super into the Broncos. So because the three of us aren't big Broncos fans, but it's good to have a little bit of a homer love, so.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Phil, what we was just saying is how Brad and I are super thankful for all the people coming in and how much we've grown. The show's grown and everything over the last, year and a half. So
Correct.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Season 2 of Ballers and Briefs. Yeah. Appreciate all of y'all.
Getting better like Stranger Things over here. Each season just getting better and better. We're giving you more and more each season, more and more each episode, trying to win you that money.
Yeah. And I promise you, we're not going to be like some series and just cut off in the middle, or one of us dies off in the middle. We're going to kill off one of the main characters and then replace them with someone else. Going
solo like Justin Timberlake.
What's up, Pete? What's up, Pete?
What's up, Nessa and Pete?
We have something specifically for your Bears in a little bit. We talk a little bit of Bear action.
Got them on the slate.
Yeah,
I like the Bears. I used to have a Bears jersey. I don't know where it's at, but it was a Muhammad jersey.
Oh, Musha Muhammad? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember his first name, but I liked him, dude. I was like, he's such a goat. I thought
you were going to say Urlacher. I thought you were going to say Urlacher because it seemed like even people who weren't like just Bears fans were still rocking Urlacher jerseys because he was a beast. So, but he's probably my favorite player of the Bears if I had to choose one, kind of that I got to see because I didn't get to see Peyton. Yeah, for the Bears, my favorite Bears player. If I got to, I'm gonna
be weird. I'm gonna go. I think anybody that watched Devin Hester actually return kicks could just be a fan of his. Like I felt like in this day and age that Devin Hester had the talent. Prime Devin Hester had the talent that you could see Tyreek Hill having, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have the hands, I guess, that Tyreek Hill does, but just because he was really good at catching the ball, I guess, on the returns. But I think he would be great in today's league. But somebody that I liked a lot on the Bears for years, I liked Peanut Tillman, man. Like, thank you, Peanut Tillman, for the peanut punch, because if it wasn't for you, these dudes out here wouldn't be out here punching the ball out and trying to get strips. So Peanut Tillman would be my Bears, my Bears guy. So I liked Peanut Tillman. Shout out to Rex Grossman. There you go. Taking the Bears.
Former Gator.
You remember the golf tournament, the first golf tournament we ever played in law school? You remember the first one we ever played in?
Yeah.
At the one that down there in
it was in a neighborhood and
yeah, by Bell Reeve down there, you know?
That place was nice,
Deerwood or whatever it is. I remember we were at that golf tournament and Rex Grossman drives by on a golf cart. And I was like, that's Rex Grossman. And you're like, who the fuck is Rex Grossman? Like, he played in the Super Bowl.
Cody just be spotting people, dude. I'm like, who?
Yeah, I was like, all these people. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird shit. But yeah, old Rex Grossman. He was a Gator.
Former Gator.
Yeah, one of those weird Gator quarterbacks you just don't ever remember unless you're an actual Gators fan. But anyways, but yeah, we appreciate everybody, and we appreciate everybody coming back every week to get you a little piece of advice, or if it's just to hear our voice or whatever it is, we appreciate you all. So, but I guess we can kind of hop in. If you guys notice that we got 3 games tomorrow, and then you got the 1 game on Friday, so we can kind of attack it in multiple fashions. As a big slate altogether, obviously, because in a lot of them you got the Thursday and Friday games together, you got the all Thursday games, or you have them one individually showdown wise. So I have stuff for about all of them, but a little bit of news here. Kind of looking on the page here. Our man Tyreek Hill is back in the news. His traffic citations were dropped.
As they should be.
Because the cop didn't show up to traffic court.
Shit, that don't work here. That was a thing in Maryland, dude.
I don't
understand that, because where I'm at, in the part of Florida I'm at, the cop isn't supposed to show up. You got to show up.
It was failure to appear, is what I saw.
They will set for hearing at a different date, and they will subpoena the cop. And then if the cop doesn't show up, to throw it out. But in Maryland, you show up on the day of your hearing and that cop is not there, it is automatically dismissed.
Yeah. I thought that too, but then I saw that he said that it was failure to appear on the cop's part or something like that.
Yeah, cop probably didn't want to show up. It's gonna be a fucking herd of people outside booing him as
I had a feeling it was probably something to do with that too, but let's just be honest.
I think both sides probably just wanted this to go away and kind of, as easily and quietly as possible. And I think this is probably the best solution for both sides.
Yeah. I mean, especially I'm sure that cop, like, it's just, he's like, what if it wasn't Tyreek Hill and it was just another Dolphins player that, like, really nobody cares about and wasn't as high profile a guy, he might have showed up, and then it wouldn't have made as big of a deal all over on social media and the news and everything. But yeah,
most likely
the cop, it was all dropped because he didn't show up to court. And then another little Florida action over here. I got all 3 of the Florida teams on the screen if you can't tell. Everybody, or Phil's main guy, loves to hate on Trevor Lawrence. You might know a little more about this than I do, Brad, but everything I saw that Trevor Lawrence, he's trying to decide if he wants to have surgery on that shoulder or not.
Well, at least from what the reports are on locally, it's that he's been in practice. He was practicing today. He was going to kind of take some full team reps, and that they're kind of working towards getting him to play at least this week or at some point in the near future. So it sounds like there more is an emphasis towards getting him to play these last few games than it is kind of taking a surgery and kind of finishing the end of the year. At least that's what they're saying, at least on the ground, right, as of today. But I wouldn't be shocked if they end up going that route. Maybe kind of just sit them for the rest of the season type thing. If you're kind of working towards that top pick, might as well just go ahead and work to the top pick without getting sort of additional hits on the QB on the franchise. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I knew Phil would be like, yeah, just keep his ass on the bench for the rest of the season. Go ahead and get your shoulder surgery, and maybe you'll stop overthrowing people.
Maybe he'll come back like I forgot what it was called. It's like a baseball movie. He slips and breaks his arm, breaks his shoulder, and he comes back. He's throwing like 105-mile-an-hour fastballs. Take him to the MLB. Maybe that's what he needs, dude.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year, dude. That's it.
I love that movie.
Yes,
I love that
dude.
movie.
Fuck your shoulder up, get it fixed, and you come back slinging them, dude. Just fix that.
He might be making it right. So, but yeah, so I thought that I had to add him a little bit in there, and then on the other side, the other Florida team, Tampa Bay. There you can see the the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shaq Barrett is applying for reinstatement. He retired back in June and is applying for reinstatement via Drew Rosenhaus, his agent. So
wow,
he's two
back with the Bucks.
I assume so because I think they own
NFL?
it. I think back into the NFL as general, but I think they still own his rates or whatever. So I'm not really 100% sure. I didn't see exactly what they said. It just was he's just replying for reinstatement back into the league. And then Baker Mayfield suing his dad's company for like $12 million or something like that.
Man,
when your family starts trying to embezzle money or trying to take money from you, solicit money from you, whatever, and now he's suing his dad and his dad's company and his brother too.
Damn,
it's crazy.
Sad.
Tough when money gets in the way.
Yeah. Yep. And then on the far end here, J.K. Dobbins, MCL injury, and might be out for a few weeks. So make your fantasy adjustments accordingly. So that's crazy. And then
it's Gus Edwards as the backup, right?
Yeah, I mean he's him and Hassan Haskins.
That's who the other one
Haskins is but Haskins has actually been getting those weird like 1 or 2 carries a game anyway. So but anyways, and then in the middle you got Danny Dimes here. He's no longer Danny Dimes in New York. He's Danny Dimes in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Backup.
Oh, he already got traded. Nice.
He got he got cut.
Yeah.
He got cut.
Yeah, but
he got cut and they signed him on the practice
know he got
squad.
a new home already. That's good.
Just today. Yeah. He just got signed today. I figured he would get picked up. Not to diminish him or kind of knock him, but I think he could potentially be better once he gets a chance to kind of get into a new scheme, be as a backup, maybe even take a Sam Darnold route. I just don't think the story is just ended just yet for Jones. I want to see him in this O'Connell offense. It may actually work out a bit better for him, a better scheme, or he's not necessarily so much of that zone run scheme. It's more pro style.
It's and he's I think no offense, no shade to Nick Mullins, but I think that he's a better quarterback than Nick Mullins, and so he's a much better upgrade, and I think it's going to take him some time. Obviously, he's going through the practice squad, but other than that, man, it's I think that he'll be fine. And the rumors had him kind of like pointed towards the 49ers at first. I think that was kind of a thing, especially with the fact that Brock Purdy being hurt. So, but I mean, I hope the best for the dude. I hope it works out. But to me, this says a lot for like JJ McCarthy, especially if Jones is around in the offseason. Is JJ McCarthy really hurt that bad? Like, was his injury worse than what we thought? And is Sam Darnold, like, do they really 100% believe in Sam Darnold going forward? So that has a lot to do with it too. And of course, you don't want to see Nick Mullins again. I just don't want to see Nick Mullins. And then Jaron Hall is just god awful. So
I think I saw something somewhere where the Giants aren't starting Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets is hurt, so it's gonna be Drew Lock.
Yeah, Drew Lock coming in. So That's much better in my opinion.
He didn't even travel to Dallas. So I was going to talk about that during the.
I think Drew Lock's a better thrower, so I'm interested to see how he looks tomorrow.
I think that makes Malik Neighbors interesting again.
Agreed.
He's going to wing it, so.
And I'll be right there to catch it.
So we can pop on over to a little bit of Millie action from this past week. 233. That's not bad. I mean, it's not 270 like we've seen, but it's not 170 like we've seen. So
270 is huge.
I mean, this lineup.
I don't think I called anything right on this slate.
Chan, but he was chalk.
He was chalk.
I mean, we said we play him in cash. I didn't even play him in cash, and I went away from him in cash and went Brian Robinson and Kareem Hunt because the ownership to fit together and the ceiling was better together with the ownership, and I ended up getting screwed on that. So
I know
we had a question that came through about whether to play Tua or Love, and I felt that Tua was a stronger option against the Patriots. I remember us talking about that in that game. I wasn't sure that it was going to be to the level it ended up being, but a sort of a quick side note about actually Jalen Waddle. The prior games he had, I believe, the last 5 games, he had less than 9 fantasy points in the last 5 games previous to this one here. So I felt confident in the matchup. My opponent had Jalen Waddle, so I felt pretty good. Like Waddle hasn't done anything in weeks, and unfortunately, I got hit with that jinx that when you play him, all of a sudden the player who hasn't done anything all year explodes, and those extra points end up actually getting. I took the L, unfortunately, last week in fantasy. I think 4-point difference. Those last few points were probably because of Waddle. But I figured while watching the game and seeing his performance, I figured he would make this Millie lineup list that you had to have Waddle in there to make the whole thing work. And sure enough, he shows up.
I mean, we talked about the coverage on Tyreek. He was going to be shadowed. And I don't know how I don't get there saying that, man. Like, I fucking called it. If Tyreek is getting that shadow, then who's he gonna throw the ball to? It has to be Waddle.
I went Jonnu Smith. I went Jonnu Smith off the Tyreek Hill, just thinking that Waddle, like kind of the following the same what Brad said with him. But I mean, Jonnu Smith still had 23, so I
mean, I kind of called Trey McBride, but. I agree with you. I was all over Brock instead of Myers because Myers was going to have that coverage, and it was Myers. So he was feasting on Surtain.
Yeah.
I was
I feel like Surtain has fallen. Now I've gone back and looked at the last few weeks. He's fallen off. Like he's fallen off over the last few weeks. But I mean that. No, I don't think so. I just think that teams are kind of like.
Attacking him more.
Yeah, it seems to be like they're not shying away from him and they're going at him. And I guess at a certain extent, like if you're going at him, trying to like, okay, we're either going to avoid him and he's going to stay fresh, right? And then when we do try to go towards him, he's going to be ready. But if we're going at him and try to overwhelm him, like it's kind of like bombardment, you know what I'm saying? So what's up, Abraham? So yeah, you go at him. I guess that's kind of like reverse psychology, but something it is definitely.
I just don't understand like making 40 accounts to come in here and call us idiots.
I thought I thought you were actually the nice guy, Abraham, like literally. So
you would think that he would want to be quiet in here because he obviously wants to be in here.
It's 3
we were discussing the week's Millie Maker.
That's what we're talking about last week, buddy. Like the reason why they are the way that they are. So
you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot from back testing and paying attention to like what people did. For example, Waddle, he was clear leverage off of Tyreek. We literally called the shadow coverage on Tyreek. That's why I said I don't understand how I didn't get there. But like, this is back testing, right? We clearly called that Vegas was going to be competitive in this game. Thought he was going to win. Thought they were going to win, right? This is their first L to Denver in like
9. It was 9 games. 9 games is what it said. What they
First
said. They
L
even
at
said that
home.
shit after the game was over. Like, this is the first win for the Denver Broncos in
And I
9
said,
straight games.
if they win, it's got to be Brock Bowers. So that's where I was going. But Jacoby, had the Surtain coverage and feasted. That's hard. That's rare. Cardinals, we talked about the weather. That's not a bad play.
The Cardinals defense. I did say that the Cardinals defense has been playing good, and so did somebody else called it in the chat the other night. And I was like, I went with the Cardinals. Remember, I said the Cardinals are going to win the game, but their defense is what showed up, I guess. Even though that because Seattle hasn't scored over like 20 points in like 3 consecutive games, I believe, is what I read. So
5 sacks, man, that's huge.
Yeah. And then of course we did say I again said you're gonna have to have a Detroit running back in your lineup to win the Millie. And had Monty not got hurt, I think it was gonna be him, but Gibbs ended up making his way in there. Which
so just ban this dude.
Bye, Lincoln.
So easy. Bye.
Bye,
nerd.
Lincoln. So, but
who wants to waste their time? Like, it don't make no sense. You could be getting fancy knowledge. If you don't like it, go watch somebody else. But like, you're just wasting your time commenting. It's easy. Just
go spend time with family.
Exactly. It's the holiday season, buddy. It's holiday season.
Let's stay positive. Let's get good vibes going into. Let's be thankful.
Dude's got like 15 accounts he watches us with, man, but he talks shit from all of his accounts. It gets them all banned, but still watches us.
It's funny.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
I never got to Addison here. I never got to Addison here, by the way.
No, but then we talk about JJ having the coverage too. The
that's what
coverage.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's another pivot.
Johnson is definitely becoming a premier cornerback for the Bears, and unfortunately, I had Justin Jefferson, and I have Justin Jefferson in my season long, and that was the lowest performance I think he's had in a good amount of time. So it's just unfortunate from that perspective from my side, but for all of the Addison users, definitely got the benefit off of that. And those type of things happen. This is why we like to discuss those types of things over the show. We like to discuss about the cornerbacks that's going to be playing against the receivers to give you better info. So maybe if you're in a daily, you can go away from that matchup, go to another matchup, profit, and win.
You could and if
what up,
Bucky
Billy?
Irving. Billy, what's up, Billy? So you could have pivoted off of HN here and went with your guy Josh Jacobs, Brad. HN was 75 and Josh Jacobs is 68 and got 31 points. So you could have pivoted off of HN here, who was chalk, right? 23% and went with Josh Jacobs, like you said, which is 8% ownership. This is second. The guy in second place had Jacobs. You could have pivoted off of him and outscored this Millie lineup by 11. We called Sutton. Sutton is in the second place lineup. You could have switched out Gibbs for Sutton. You could have Addison's in the second place lineup as well. So that's a game that we talked about. And then of course Jaden Daniels is in the second place lineup with 32 points, and he was only 7% ownership, but that's paying up for a quarterback. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. It the gulf, obviously the gulf between first and second was 11 points.
It's pretty significant. It's not common.
Yeah. And then third place is 6 points. So that 6 points was Tyreek Hill in the lineup. It was a Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle stack with Tyreek Hill with 9 points with a snowflake, and Kenny Walker the third with a snowflake with 13 points. You could have pivoted off the Cardinals defense and stuck the Cowboys defense in there for 2,400 and that 22 points that they scored.
I was shocked. That game was shocking.
Absolutely. Well, I did a little something a little different. I know we usually talk all DraftKings, but our man Fresh, I don't think he's in here tonight, but because I was talking to him all day, I said, have your ass in the show tonight. I'm doing something special for you. Bring your ass to the show. So, so this is the FanDuel Millie, which I thought the FanDuel Millie actually won $1 million for first, but they only pay out $200,000 for the first place in their Millie Maker. In the $100 entry and in the $15 entry, it only pays out $200 to first. Look at this crazy shit.
Saquon in there. He wanted Saquon. We told him Saquon. Josh Jacobs was called.
Yep.
Sutton was called. Trey McBride was talked about.
Never, ever, ever would have got to Caleb Williams and DJ Moore, though.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't have got to DJ Moore or Caleb Williams. I think I'm going to Caleb Williams tomorrow, though. Let's just talk about that. Boy. Going to Caleb tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
He looked like a fucking quarterback for once, man. Everybody had like 10 targets.
I don't know, dude. It's still just, I don't know. He's still got a lot of learning to do, man. I feel like maybe next year he might have the opposite trajectory of CJ Stroud, like CJ Stroud living high on the rock, last season, like, top 5 quarterback in the league type shit. And now he looks like he can't do shit but throw interceptions when it matters.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right.
We can hop into the games for tomorrow. I put them all on one screen here. A little bit of old school Thanksgiving, stuff here. You got the Bears and the Lions here. That first one was a 1980 game where what's his name? Williams run a kickback in overtime against the Lions. And then the bottom one is the Lions obviously eating the turducken with John Madden, old Robert Porcher down there. And then obviously in the middle, you got Lawrence Taylor, who the Giants don't normally play on Thanksgiving. It's a weird conundrum, but they went like some 80 years. This is a stat, 80 years without scoring a touchdown on Thanksgiving from like 19.
That's why they took him off.
Yeah. No, Billy.
You can go watch somebody else, Billy. Adios.
You want it done your way. Go to Burger King.
Adios.
Nerd. So, and then obviously you got they're coming out full force tonight. Trolls.
It's the same dude, yo. He comes in every time, starts with an introduction, hello, hey, and then he starts talking.
Howdy. And then you got the great Cowboys teams, Emmitt Smith, Larry Allen, and the boys there. And then obviously the Dolphins beating the Cowboys in the snow on Thanksgiving in 1993. It snowed in Miami in 1993 on Thanksgiving. And then the bottom, Ahman Green and Brett Favre feasting on some turkey there in Green Bay. So
Green Bay.
These point totals have shifted a little bit since I made this earlier today.
Yeah, for the first matchup, I think that this one's going to actually play over the 48 points.
It moved down. It moved down to 47.5. Actually, both of the 48 points have moved to 47.5 since
I like the 47.5. While Caleb Williams had a pretty strong game this last game. He really started, I think, kind of find himself against a really good Vikings defense. I believe went for over 300 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. Also, his scrambling ability came up a little bit as well, and he was able to get a couple runs. I actually had Burrow in my league, and due to him being on a bye, I actually ran out Caleb Williams and got, I think, 27 points, fantasy points out of him. So I like this matchup. both offenses seem starting to kind of find themselves as far as for points scored. And so I think I see this one going over the 47.5 total.
I give you a little bit of injury updates here. Quite a few household names out for the Lions, though. For the Bears, Ryan Bates, guard, out with a concussion, and Elijah Hicks, one of their safeties, out with an ankle injury. The names here are the names that are out or questionable. Carlton Davis, one of their corners. He's a starting corner, out with a knee and a thumb injury. Taylor Decker, their number one left tackle, and who you can noticeably see without him on the line, that offensive line suffers a bit, especially the run game. Is out with a knee injury. Monty is questionable with that shoulder injury that he came out of the game with. He was limited in practice, so that's something that could be looked at possibly up until game time. And they play early tomorrow. They play at 11:30, 12:30 y'all's time. And then Khalif Raymond, which he's that kind of like number 3, number 4 wide receiver, is out, but he's the kick returner, so he's out with that foot injury. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown is questionable with a knee injury, but was limited in practice. So those are some pretty significant names on the injury report there for the Lions. So keep that in mind.
And also, even if Amon-Ra St. Brown plays, there is still the chance, I believe it's Jalen Johnson would be sort of mirroring him, and you could have sort of what happened with Justin Jefferson last week, where I believe he only had 2 catches. That could potentially happen again in this matchup. So if you're going to go to a Lions receiver, it may be outside of sort of your main chalk player in this matchup, because I think they may want to go away from that, maybe go to, I believe, maybe even target the tight end in this situation. Maybe a Laporta would be a better fit.
JMO, and then man, I was watching that game and I felt like Tim Patrick was catching everything. He only went 4 for 4 for 50 something yards, but I'm like, dude, I swear to God, it was I felt like he caught more than 4, but it was only 4. But I guess the 4 were just the 4 that Red Zone were showing every time that they would throw the ball. But shit, like that dude was I swear he was like catching every pass that Jared Goff was throwing.
So for me, Amon-Ra is highest owned wide receiver on the slate. I think he's the most expensive player on the slate as well. He's gonna have that coverage from Chicago that we were just talking about, locking down people. So I think tomorrow's a good spot to leverage away from him. Like Brad was saying, it's got to be Jameson Williams or Sam Laporta in those spots. If you're mass entering, I wouldn't fade Amon-Ra. It's Amon-Ra, but I would definitely go way under the field. Like, I think right now he's projecting 50% ownership. That's fucking insane. I think you could cap him at like 25, 30% cap max. If you're doing single entry, I think you fade him. I think you pivot.
35 catches, 372 yards, and 1 touchdown in 6 games against the Bears in his career.
6 games? What's that, like 50 yards a game?
Average. He has had 47 targets total. So out of 6, that's roughly 8 targets, and he caught 35 of them out of 6. So that's around 5 to 7, 5 to 6.
Yeah, and he got 1 touchdown.
Yes,
in at 8K, that's not going to pay off. That's what I'm saying. It's got to leverage against him.
1 100-yard game.
Yeah, somebody like Tyreek Hill. I know we're not at that game, but like that's probably who you want to pivot to, right? If you want an elite receiver, you probably want to go to him in single entry. In Mass Entry, you definitely want to cut Amon-Ra in half. And he's playing fucking banged up. So he gets hit crossing that field out the slot, dude, and he's just done. Then what?
Yeah, your lineup's blown.
Yep. Dead lineup. 8K player gone.
Because you ain't winning shit with that.
He's got to get you somewhere around 30 to 30 fucking 3 points tomorrow. Banged up against a team that he's only got 1 touchdown against in 6 games. Screams Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. So I think if you're running like golf lineups, you're stacking Laporta and Williams. You're not stacking Amon-Ra. I personally am probably going to Chicago side in this game. Just riding the wave like a fucking roulette table, man. If he's hot, he's been hot in 2 games. Let's continue to heater. Let's keep betting on it. See what he does. Man's averaging like 280 yards per game passing in the last 2 games, and he's rushing for over 50. He has a passing touchdown in both games. And they're 10-point underdogs, right? I hope they get down by 10. I hope it's spread out, and then he's just fucking
throwing. And I see the same thing, Phil, and just the pair. I think you should pair Williams with a Keenan Allen. He had 15 targets the last game. I believe 8 in the previous game before that. So it seems like they're really starting to target in on him in the passing game. And he's the perfect type of player when you have a defense in the Detroit Lions who are actually in the bottom half in the league in pass yards given up per game, where they're managing to be great is in that they're not giving up any points though. But from a PPR perspective, you want to see really. You don't necessarily need that touchdown per se. If you can get a performance like Keenan Allen will give you, and get 86 in the touchdown plus a good handful of catches. That's what you want to see.
I mean, I like Rome. I like Rome Odunze too. If you're trying to pair Caleb Williams, he had 10 targets last week. He's had 10 targets 3 games straight. 10 targets. I mean, targets.
It's going to pay off eventually. It's going to pay off.
And DJ Moore, both of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
DJ Moore had a 100-yard touchdown game.
That's what I'm saying. Yep. You're stacking him with both of those. You're one of like DJ and either Keenan Allen or Rome. And that's, I don't dislike that at all. Just with the fact of that's where he's going to. Like, obviously he's got to. He kind of abandoned Cole Kmet over the last, like it was.
But Cole Kmet is kind of like Kittle, Phil. He just all of a sudden then it'll be, 5 catches, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns and breaks the slate. So I mean, you can't go necessarily. Definitely in these matchups, from a tight end perspective, he's definitely a value play.
Tight ends, I'll tell you this, dude. 2 tight ends in your DFS lineups win on these slates more than any slates. So like people are afraid to run 2 tight end sets, man. Like a Cole Kmet in the flex right there could, like you said, he hasn't done much, but all of the Bears haven't done much until recently. So let it be him tomorrow, right? Like DJ Moore had 7 targets back-to-back games. That's fucking DJ Moore, right? We've seen what he can do. He can break slates. But this time I should beat Cole Kmet. Just because
he's had 28 catches. 28 catches for 295 yards and 4 touchdowns in 8 games. Cole Kmet. He's had a game. He had 1 game with 2 touchdowns in it against the Lions. Against the Lions, yes.
So that's pretty solid, man. He's getting touchdowns at his price. He's probably like $3K, if that.
3,600.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect spot.
It's 2 catches, 3 catches, and a touchdown, dude.
He's 13% owned.
If
you're playing like the full slate now, obviously if you're playing the showdown here, and that's if you're playing the showdown, like if you just want to dip your toe in one game tomorrow, I don't know if this is the game that I'm dipping my toes in and hoping that I'm winning. If I'm just doing a single showdown tomorrow, I think I'm risking it on the Dallas and the Giants game because I feel like that game's easier to pick than this one is.
Not a bad game to hit neither. This fucking Thanksgiving, man, all 3 games are like targetable. I hate it.
Yeah.
Whereas like other Thanksgivings, it was much easier, dude. It's so much easier. I know they get this Giants game really low, over under 37.5,
You
but
think it's playing
that's
over?
I do. I think that's because
Yeah.
I think it's just because of how Dallas just looked, and that they don't know what the quarterback situation was for Giants at the time that this line came out, which is probably still there. But people forget, just because the Dallas played good against the Redskins last week, that they are Dallas Cowboys and they fucking suck, and they allow themselves to get run all over. Tyrone Tracy could have a big game. It could open up the pass for Neighbors, and then this game's going over.
Yeah.
Because Giants can't cover CD neither. So
Nope.
definitely has scary breakout potential. I think the under is a trap. They're trying to feed that on how Dallas looked against JD
Are you talking
Daniels.
about? You could talk about a tight end. There's another tight end in that game.
Schoon?
Schoonmaker and Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson, the rookie for the Giants.
Yeah, I've played him a couple times. Single entry this year. $100 single entry.
Schoonmaker's drawing some price now after what he's done.
Yeah.
After scoring a touchdown last week, after I called and said he's going to score a touchdown, and he ended up scoring a touchdown. But Theo Johnson's not even 3K. So Dallas has a tendency to get kind of tore up a little bit by the tight end. Zach Ertz just scored a touchdown against them, even though they had put up 22 points on defense. And that boiled down to a kick return off of Kavontae Turpin, who I said for anybody that wanted to play for Dallas to play a Dallas player, play Kavontae Turpin. Hits the freaking circle button, the spin button, way before the defender gets there, and I guess it freaked the defender out. But yeah, I don't know, man. Talking back about this Bears and Lions game, I think the Lions win this game. It's in Detroit, but like you said, I think it has the potential to be the game of the day, just to kind of get everybody awake, because Detroit usually plays the first game of the day, always on Thanksgiving. So,
with some of the injuries, for the Lions that they have, it feels like they may play a little bit under what they've been playing, but I still just think that the scheme, the physicality, just over time kind of outweighs some of the injuries that they do have out. And it kind of allows other players like Jahmyr Gibbs to kind of step up, get a full plate instead of only 10, maybe 15 touches that could potentially pop up, tomorrow. And so watch out for him. He's had, double-digit fantasy games all year.
I think this is a prime Caleb Williams throws an interception tomorrow. If you can find a prop with it, he's at least over a half an interception. I think he throws at least one.
But I like Detroit tomorrow.
What about you, Phil? Are you taking the Bears? Because I know you're riding high on the Bears right now, but
are we going spread? I got Bears by spread, but I got Detroit winning the game.
Straight up? Yeah. I was thinking straight up. So, I mean, if you're doing spread, I think it could be closer than 9.5 or whatever it is. So now since it moved. But kind of, I know we've already kind of talked about it. This Giants and Dallas game is ugly. It's ugly on paper. It's literally ugly on paper. I don't even know where Cooper Rush. I don't know.
I mean, watch out for Cooper Rush. In the last 2 games, he's had 247 yards passing and then 354 yards passing. I mean, he shows the ability, even with sort of kind of coming off the bench here, that he has the ability to kind of work through his progressions, find open receivers, really make a play of it. And this Giants defense isn't something that, would be any worse than the defense that he just played against, or any better than the defense that he just played against Washington. They have some, elements with Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, but I just think, again, let's watch out for him. He seems to kind of at least, target the players that as far as for CeeDee Lamb, the tight end, you can see him really working it through. So this game could, potentially, as Phil was saying, play a little bit higher than what we're thinking. It may not just be that go to sleep 6-9 game.
So, injuries: Deontay Banks, corner, questionable with a rib, but he was limited in practice. Tommy DeVito, he didn't even travel, so I think that's the injury report doesn't say that he's out, but I'm pretty sure that he's out. So we're going to be seeing Drew Lock, which it's so far behind right now. Even any of the optimizers and everything that you're seeing fantasy wise is not even got Drew Lock put in yet. It's still saying
Yeah,
Tommy
it's not
DeVito.
there.
So, Jermaine Illuminor, one of their tackles, is out with a quad injury, and then Armon Watts, number 2 defensive tackle, out with a shoulder injury. And then for the Cowboys, Kalen Carson, one of their corners, out with a shoulder injury. Trayvon Diggs, questionable with a groin and a knee injury and did not practice. Jake Ferguson. Yep, that boosts Neighbors big time.
Big time.
I mean, Neighbors I like anyways. He like cussed out the coaching staff and like they're gonna get this dude the ball.
Jake Ferguson out with a concussion, obviously. Eric Kendricks, their middle linebacker, questionable with a shoulder and a groin injury, did not practice. Marshawn Nealon, defensive tackle, doubtful with a knee. Zach Martin out again. Asim Richards, another tackle, ankle is out. And then Nick Vigil is still questionable with that foot injury that's been bothering him. So there you go. I think that you could easily get to Neighbors here. But is this going to be at the game where Dallas runs the ball? Because the Giants are ass against the run, even though
Dallas
they have
is ass against the run.
Yeah, they both are. They're both like 25 and 24 against the run.
It's tough. I don't know. CD Lamb's had like 18 catches in the last 2 games, so I think you could go there regardless. I do like Tyrone Tracy. I don't really care for Dowdle, dude. He hasn't done much this whole season, even in good matchups. So
to answer your Cheeks question, I think I'm gonna go because it's fitting in with this matchup for the Giants. I think I'm gonna go Neighbors here. I just like the fact that he's been sort of hollering to get the ball, and I always sort of feel that every time that a receiver does do that, they do try to target him. He's had multiple games of 10 plus targets in the games. In the last 4 games, I believe he's had double-digit fantasy performances. So he's definitely producing. Now, of course, the little variable in this equation is, what quarterback's going to be throwing them the ball. But I just think that he's the type of receiver that it kind of doesn't matter a little bit. It just matters about the scheme and if they're actually targeting him. And typically, backup quarterbacks are kind of trained to go to the number 1.
Yeah, and Cheeks, just for kicks and giggles, is this a half PPR, just for a little bit of clarification? Because I like Tracy, I like him a lot, I like Neighbors a lot. Oh, then that answers my question. Stamp, sign, seal, deliver. Neighbors is. I think you got to go to Neighbors, because like Brad said, even though Drew Lock has been a number 1 in the league, he's not a career backup guy, and he's always been a guy that's all right. I'm here to just get the ball to the number 1. I think when he was in Denver, Cortland Sutton had some of his best years with Cortland Sutton. So, I mean, I think that's a plausible play. So,
and Tracy isn't a bad option. I believe in the last game he did have 4 catches. He didn't have a huge performance as far as for fantasy production overall, but I always like a running back that does have that ability to catch the ball out of the backfield in a PPR league. But it just makes me a little bit nervous. Would a Drew Lock do the same thing, or would he go to the number 1? So again, I just feel a little bit more confident going Neighbors here.
And it's crazy that you're in a great spot to have to pick between Malik Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy, for your flex, because if you have tomorrow, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
saying that's just good that you have that availability when some of us that are out here are scrambling for motherfuckers like Dylan Lobby for a running back, you know. So
it's hard out here.
it's I'm happy for you. I feel like you're in a good spot. So but yeah, I don't know. Brandon Cooks is back. Do you have any love for Brandon Cooks, Phil?
That's my guy, man. But
I know you do. I know you do. But I know
not
his
with
like
not with this
tomorrow.
quarterback. I don't think I know he throws the ball, but I don't see him getting accurate. Like Brandon Cooks is good because of his deep threat. I don't see
What's
him
up,
being
John?
accurate with the deep threat.
What's up, bro?
I mean, he could.
You see the boys got your sports for you on.
I mean,
I was stupid and forgot to wear mine.
It's tough. It is the Giants, so he could break out back there, but it's tough.
Should we grab
Dak,
this
I would say
question from
yes.
Shadow Wicket real quick?
Brock Bowers or she?
Hey, John, my bad, dude. I thought they were wearing it on Saturday, and I just totally just zoned out. I mean, I can run and go grab it and throw it on, but I know exactly where it is.
Just trying to show some love.
I didn't even know about it. I actually did, and just zoned the hell out. So my bad. I'll wear it for sure when you come on the show in a couple weeks. But I mean, we could. I guess if you want to hit shadows real quick, we can. I mean, I know we usually answer questions at the end, but we kind of like did it in a way. Pick 2: Taysom Hill, Brock Bowers, Rachaad White, Rico Dowdle. I mean, I like Brock Bowers. Taysom Hill has a good matchup.
But I don't see it going again. I don't see that going 2 weeks and just I mean
that would be 3 weeks in a row.
Was it 3 weeks in a row? I don't know if the magic keeps going that far. I like Brock Bowers from the sense that it's just him and basically Jacoby Myers, and we'll kind of chat a little bit further about that one in the next slate. But I like Brock Bowers, and give me Rachaad White. Give me Rachaad White. I just think that with what they're doing from an offensive perspective in Bucks, they're going to start getting that ball back on the ground again to kind of make sure they even it out, balance the game out. I see him really getting more touches, get more production down the stretch here.
I mean, Shadow, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. With all the guys that you got in this slate tends to move a little bit. Now, Brock Bowers, I think, is probably you have to play him. You drafted him as a number 1 tight end, and I think he's one of those guys you need to be married to, because he's gonna get him. The rest of the guys there, I think it's possible that we could. White plays the Panthers this week. That could change. Bucky Irving's been there, coming in and out. It really just depends on how far they get out and ahead. Rico Dowdle is Rico Dowdle, and then Taysom Hill is, like they just said, a flash in the pan. So it could be Rachaad White and Brock Bowers, or you kind of like swinging at the wall with just all 3 of them kind of with Brock Bowers. But I think Brock Bowers is your constant there for sure. And if you hop back in on Saturday with those other 3 guys, actually with 2 of those guys, actually, because I don't think you play Dowdle. I honestly don't. I just don't think you'd play him. But like I said, this could be the week that the Dallas Cowboys run on the Giants. But I think that the passing game is there, especially if Drew Lock's trying to wing it and they're not trying to put people to sleep. Because this game is the game everybody's going to take naps in. So the NFL wants games where you're not sleeping in the middle of the day. So I don't know, man. I like White and Bowers, or if you're feeling lucky, Hill and Bowers. Run 2 tight ends. Like
get different.
That's my 2 cents on the matter. I'm struggling myself to decide if I want to run Taysom Hill again and see if lightning strikes one more time and can get me my 9th win to get me stamped into the playoffs. Because so that's my 2 cents on that question. But Cheek says he has Jetta, Cup, Barkley, so he can't play. Oh, we can't play Tracy Ann Neighbors. Yeah, so that sucks, dude. I hate that for you. But I hate your team that your team is so damn good. So
wow. Big ups.
Jesus
Yeah.
fuck.
Big ups.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's 8 or 10 man league, I think.
It's gotta be for sure. That nice. But back to the Giants and the Cowboys. I mean, Phil, like you have what are you thinking about if you're mass entering, do you take flyers on Drew Lock tomorrow? Mass entering. Or are you limiting, so you have 6 quarterbacks on the slate tomorrow in this slate. If you're not playing into Friday, like if you're just playing this Thursday, are you limiting
Thursday,
your
play 20 max? I play one quarterback.
One
quarterback max. And it's like I said, I hate this one because this one's hard, dude. I like Love, I like Williams, I like Goff. I don't really have interest in either one of them for 20 max. If I'm doing 150 max, I think I get like I cap it at like 10 lineups for the Giants QB, 10 lineups for the Dallas QB, and then I pick 2 and I run with them. Probably Caleb Williams and Love.
I mean, it's crazy that
and
you
I
got
the rest of my lineups.
You got Goff, Love, Goff, Love, Tua, and Caleb Williams all face teams that are in the top 5 or 6 in the league against the quarterback. So that's what's crazy.
And the other crazy part is all like I'm not the only one thinking like this. Like Caleb Williams second highest on quarterback right now. So
yeah,
it's like there isn't really any leverage. The leverage at quarterback is gonna be
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. It's got to be
Drew Lock, and shocking enough, it's gonna be Tua. People they're not hyped on Tua against that Green Bay defense. So
yeah.
Well, I also don't think it's just that. I'll tell y'all this. Tua fucking sucks when it's cold. Have we all forgot how fucking bad he is when it gets cold outside? They're going to be in Green Bay. So for those reasons, I'm not touching him. This dude, it turns 20 degrees, and then next thing you know, he's in like a heated blanket and gloves and faking injuries to go in the tent in the locker room. Like, dude, he don't like the cold. I mean, I get it. He's used to Miami, but
snow showers tomorrow projected in Green Bay.
So I don't like that. I'm not going to it's just not going to happen. So I think it's Williams and Love for me. Even Love's tough because of the snow showers now, but they might pound the ball with
Josh
Jacobs, but Goff's the highest owned. I think he's going to stay the highest owned. I think he's going to gain even more ownership tomorrow as you get closer to the games.
I like these guys that play indoors tomorrow. I like
and
that.
They can
I like
pound
that Drew
the ball.
Lock. I like that. I might actually just like if I'm winging.
I don't dislike that play.
Winging it because you like what you said. He doesn't have the tape that much. Like right now in this Giants offense, Brian Dable is going to be like, all right, I'm playing for my job at this point. I'm about to just turn this kid's ass loose. Like, just go out there.
But if he don't and he pounds the fucking ball with Tracy because Dallas fucking sucks against the run, then you have a slow ass game and a low scoring game that just mounts to field goals. That's what scares me about both of them. That's why at 150 max, I want to play both of them just to see, if they hit. But other than that, I'm going heavy with Williams and Love. I don't want no Goff tomorrow.
In this matchup, I like Dallas tomorrow. Dallas tomorrow in this matchup. Shout out to Turpin, man. Give me another spin move, another Madden move tomorrow.
That was insane,
make my Thanksgiving even better, and give me some exciting. But just watch out for him tomorrow. I just think that they might get a little more creative with him. From an offensive perspective.
Who's less than
Turpin, less than 1% owned.
Yeah, isn't he? He's the punt returner, right?
Yeah, but
he's behind Tolbert. I always mix him and fucking Tolbert up because they're fucking both
Tolbert
trash.
is the number 2.
Yeah.
But Turpin's that gimmicky guy. Like he scored against Houston the other night out of the slot. So
yeah, I know, but I don't like him, dude. Give me Tolbert for the backups. Tolbert's the money. Turpin ain't gonna do that again, dude. That was insane. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That shit was fire. It looked like
I told you he's gonna. If you're gonna try to call him, he like did the spin move. That's what I said. He did the spin move. He hit the button to do the spin move. Like I'm out here pushing the controller button. Like my man is like spinning, and nobody's even around him. And I swear the defender just was like, "What the fuck did he just do?" And he just ran right by him. I was like,
"Why did he spin?"
Everybody cooked everybody, dude. It was it was insane to see. But that shit's not happening every week. And he needs that to happen.
But he scored touchdowns in back-to-back weeks is the thing.
Yeah, he has.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I played Tolbert the week before when his bitch ass scored, and I was pissed. I don't think I had him in fantasy. I had him in my I had Tolbert in one of my bets, one of my parlays. And I was like, what quarterback what player just scored? And Kathy was like, someone with a T. And I was like, Tolbert? Like, tell me it's Tolbert. I'm going there, it's fucking Turpin, man. No. I hate him because of that.
Which is so weird, though. Like, he only got 1.8 fantasy points.
When?
When
Maybe
he
it was a week before.
No, last week. When he scored. What I'm saying, like, I'm looking to see because okay. So regular PPR scoring did not give him a touchdown.
Probably just went to the defense.
Yeah, but DraftKings gave him a touchdown. So gave him a DraftKings touchdown. So 6 points plus the 1.8 that he got for the one reception on 8 yards that he got.
Yeah.
So
DraftKings gives the defense points and the person if they run it all the way back.
What's up, KC? Hey, Cheeks, we'll answer this Otten and Njoku question at the end since it doesn't actually pertain to the slate, but hang around and we'll answer it. I promise.
Essentially, that's some good correlation right there. If you're gonna play Turpin, make sure he's in every Dallas defense lineup you have, because it's double points.
Yeah.
If he doesn't score on offense and gets one of that bullshit gimmicky punt returns or kickoff returns, Dallas gets the points too. So you get the double score.
Yeah. KC back here with more his more of his clips.
That's
here.
Stroud.
I can't even see, man. Like it's in the screen.
It looked like Stroud maybe in the background.
It does look like Stroud, kind of. It's Josh Allen and somebody. I think that's Josh Allen's mug. Looks like it. I don't know. But Casey out here with all the cool. It's Diggs. Oh, is it Diggs in the background and Casey in the front? I mean, I knew it was Josh Allen. It was Josh Allen. See, stop with the Diggs hate, man. That's hate. Remember, he's on the Texans and he ain't got a knee right now. It's hate. Hate. It can't all be blessed with damn Saquon Barkley on our team. I mean, he's on my fantasy team, but we can't be blessed with him. Can't be delirious like the Giants letting the man get away from him and keeping Daniel Jones and then letting Daniel Jones walk. So now you just all look stupid.
The hard part tomorrow is going to be picking running backs. That's going to be the hard part.
Absolutely.
I think we know, where to look for leverage on the wide receivers and tight ends, but the running backs, man, it's
DeAndre Swift. We get a DeAndre Swift revenge game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Do it against the Lions.
You know what I'm saying, man. I like a lot of the plays from Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, you missed that part, Casey. But do we get another Ezekiel Elliott touchdown, bitch ass touchdown, and jumping in the Salvation Army bucket, like, and he's rubbing his belly like, feed me more shit. We're gonna get that we're gonna get that shit tomorrow.
I think he does that every Thanksgiving, so I think that's actually a good call there, Cody, to play him. They're gonna give him the ball down at the fucking 1 just for that, so he can jump in the thing, get a $15,000 fine, and show his little
and
belly
give it
shirt.
and give it to the Salvation Army. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think personally, I'm gonna
People
do
help
it one more time. I'll push the Monty button one more time. If Monty is good to go tomorrow, I'm gonna push his ass one more time out there in a revenge game against the Bears. I don't know. That's just me. Like, that's just me following the yellow brick road, if you will.
Like I said earlier, gotta follow them when they hot. Ride them to that bitch cool off.
I mean, he's been doing it. I don't care if his shoulder is bad or not. Sonic and Knuckles here, I like both of them, and Gibbs is not even the highest owned running back. He's the second highest owned running back. Rico Daddle's the highest owned running back. But I think that if you're trying to get off that Rico Daddle chalk, somebody else in that game, Roshan Johnson, I bet that dude scores a touchdown tomorrow. The running back for the Chicago Bears.
The running back is hard tomorrow, man. It's tough.
The Miami running backs might be viable, though.
I mean, I think they all are. That's what's fucking problem. Rico's got a good matchup. He's fucking shit. Zeke's probably going to take one from him for the salvation. So that might, if anything, give you leverage to not play him. Also, he's the highest owned. Jahmyr Gibbs, amazing. Jacobs, amazing. A-Chain, amazing. Tyrone with a fucking crazy matchup. Monty is fucking Monty. Swift, as you said earlier, and then Roshan. Like, all of them are viable. There's pros and cons to each. You know, Monty's banged up. Daddle's got to worry about Zeke. Plus, he's the highest owned. Gibbs has to worry about Monty eating half his share.
And then, if Monty doesn't play, that guy, Craig Reynolds, Monty does not play. Keep your eye on Craig Reynolds, the number 3, because I've seen that dude come in and golf touchdowns when Monty doesn't play.
Well, it's primetime slate, dude. We always say that the random ass people score because they play them for advertising purposes. They want to.
We're past that part,
them.
but
next season, dude, they want to get rid of them. They're advertising, always advertising.
And like I said earlier, if you're doing a single game showdown out of this matchup, and you use the Giants and the Cowboys, I might even have me some Hunter Lipke tomorrow, the fullback, because that dude, I've seen that dude. Like, I mean, he's getting catches. Like,
you're pushing it with that,
no, dude, he gets catches out the backfield too. If I'm doing single game showdown, Schoonmaker was getting all his catches when Lipke was out 2 weeks ago, and then
150 max, maybe one lineup, maybe one.
I don't know, man. I mean,
stretch.
I feel like they might give him some love. I'm gonna keep tracks on him just so you can say that you told me so. But if he does, I'm gonna say I told you so. If Bastard scores a touchdown tomorrow, your phone's gonna blow up. Be like, I told you, fucking Lipke's gonna score a touchdown.
Fucking Lipke. Yeah. No way.
Oh, Phil, your camera went out.
I see that. I kicked the wire, dude, because they're fucking hanging. They fell out the thing. So,
but
I guess we can probably start swinging into this final or the
yeah. We can hop on the
Packers,
Miami and Packers. I think Dallas wins. Going away since it's in Dallas.
They're gonna ride that wave from beating the Redskins.
So the defense actually comes back to life. Mike Zimmer puts it back together. So, but the final one on this Thanksgiving slate, Miami at Green Bay. Like I said, snow flurries tomorrow, game time. It's gonna be cold. I think that it's possible that you don't have to play any wide receivers from Miami tomorrow.
I like Green Bay's defense with Tua being trash in the cold.
And they're not. I mean, they're not the highest owned. The Lion. Everybody's on the Lions and the Cowboys.
Yep.
I mean, it's another one I think that you could probably chalk up if you could find a prop of at least one interception. I think that Tua probably has the ability to throw one possibly, but I give you a little injury update.
Even Love on the other side. I mean,
oh, absolutely. I think that's a given. I think that's a given.
He puts a few up. He's a little Brett Favre-ish in his style. He'll throw a few to the other side. He'll throw for 3, but he will still give you an interception.
Yes.
Back to the side.
So, Teron Armstead, their tackle, questionable with a knee and did not practice. Tyus Bowser, one of their linebackers. This is for the Dolphins, by the way. Knee and calf injury is out. Kendall Fuller, one of their corners, out with a concussion, and then Anthony Walker, one of their linebackers, out with a hamstring. Okay, so here is the one that matters, and this is for Phil. No Jair Alexander.
Tyreek, baby.
No Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker. No Romeo Dobbs. No Dubes, or however you want to say it.
Aiden Reed gets a boost.
So John Fitzpatrick, a tight end.
If that game was in a dome or in Miami, dude, I'd be all over it. Literally, just.
And then Josh Myers, the center, and Isaiah McDuffie, the linebacker, are both questionable. So,
like, I just see Tyreek being wide open and Tua not being able to throw the ball because he says his hands are cold.
That's what, man. Jonnu Smith is so high owned, but
that's
like
what makes
Smith,
that's what, just the fact of Phil saying, hey,
yeah. Sorry, Nessa.
Can't go in the snow.
Nessa, a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, Nessa, I think Tua is gonna shock us all with his cold hands and not do anything tomorrow.
Well, just any Florida team, unfortunately, struggles in the cold or going out west. It's just those two curses, unfortunately, for the teams of the state. It seems to always struggle, and I could definitely see that in this matchup. With the snow, it's hard to really see this going 48 points. I just think they're going to have to kind of pound the ball, run it. I like A-Chain here. Of course, Josh Jacobs coming off of 3 touchdowns last week. I can't necessarily say for sure it'll be something like that this week, but I definitely see them giving the ball to him, and I believe also the other running back, Wilson. But I like A-Chain. I like even maybe, if you want to get different, Jalen Wright. He has a lot of speed, the rookie out of Tennessee. They might get a little different, try to give him a couple of carries, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a different scheme depending on the weather than what you kind of seen from Miami before than what you'll see tomorrow.
It's another one of those teams that run the same offense as the 49ers did last week, and we saw what the Green Bay defense did to the 49ers. That's possible. I like what Phil said, and then the cold has something to do with it too, but this game has a tendency, because this could be like we were all afraid of a couple weeks ago or last week, I guess it was, when the Browns and the Ravens, was the Browns and the Ravens? Browns and the Steelers played, my bad. And and it wasn't snowy at the beginning of the game, and they were out there winging it, and then it snowed on the back end of the game. So I don't know. I think you could totally fade Miami's wide receivers, but I don't think I would totally fade them. But no, especially without Jair Alexander out there, you're going to want to get some love to them.
You're right.
Tyreek.
For sure. I mean,
Tyreek's due for a blowout game. He's due for one.
I just wish it was in Miami. It might not be this one. It's going to have to be a home game.
It's just hard to say that for sure with the weather, unfortunately, just because it really messes up the passing scheme and sort of what you're able to do down the field. But I guess your safety valve, as we were saying earlier, it's got to be Jonnu Smith. He's really having sort of his best year of his career, really. I just like that matchup moving forward. You can find the tight end in the middle of the field, 5-10 yards in the middle of the field, bigger body, so it can kind of catch the ball and kind of take that hit and hold on to it even in the snow or bad weather. So I like him a lot.
I mean, it's a 7:20 kickoff. I'm trying to see exactly.
If Dobbs misses, I like Christian Watson.
I mean, he had a good game last week.
He dropped one that could have had that was a touchdown, 100% touchdown.
It's like a
that
40, 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that would have really opened up his performance. And I agree. If they're going to try to air it out, that's who they usually like to go to. Love really loves that connection with him. If you're kind of looking for sort of the underneath, that's more of your Jaden Reed. Style.
He's a gimmick guy too. Don't count that out on Jaden Reed though, especially if they're trying to get shit going on the ground. But I mean the game, the weather. I was like, I'm looking at the weather. I'm keep jumping back and forth to the weather because obviously that has a lot to do with it. But it's like between 2 and 20% precipitation. So this could be hard cold, which again at the end of the day, that kind of gives me a little bit of like my head hitting concrete. Scares me for Tua. Primetime Tua. We know what primetime Tua does. Shrivels up like a prune. So shout out to I hope Tua is okay and his head doesn't smack the ground hard tomorrow. So but yeah, I said that shit last time and ended up having a concussion. So I maybe physically responsible for whatever happens.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think you could get exposed to Tyreek Hill tomorrow. For
if you're mass entering, I think you have to. If you're doing single entry, I think you can get away from it.
Maybe some Tucker Kraft love tomorrow too, especially in the cold. The tight ends eat a little bit during the cold too.
Yeah.
But I think the Packers take this game. I even think they cover the 3 points plus.
I like Packers as well. Just that.
Sorry,
home
Nesca.
field advantage.
I have to say that the nighttime in Lambeau
is hard.
Yeah, especially coming off that win against the 49ers.
Josh Jacobs has 23 touches in 3 of 4 games. Last 3 or 4 games, 23 touches. That's insane.
Yeah.
They're going to fucking pound the ball. I actually kind of like the under in that game.
Yep.
If they're not airing it out, they're not able to air it out, it's going to be, run and slow, and people are going to be waiting on it.
I mean, Josh Jacobs has 944 yards. So he's RB9 at PPR right now, which is crazy. He's just not getting he doesn't get receiving yards, and that's the reason why. So the guy, he has more yards. He has the second most yards or third most yards in the league right now behind Saquon and Derrick Henry, but he's 9th in PPR because he doesn't get catches. That's crazy.
He's your old school running back.
He did not score a receiving touchdown in the league in his career until this season. And I feel like Josh Jacobs has been around for like ever. Longer than I expect. Longer than since 2019. He was drafted in 2019 draft. So he didn't score a receiving touchdown until this year. But yeah, I think the Packers win here. So we can hop over. And this is if you're playing, like I said, the Thanksgiving Thursday. And then the Black Friday special, get you after you get your fill on Thursday for Thanksgiving and get your Black Friday game here. Travis Kelce, Mr. Taylor Swift, and my man Keel Athletics' own Brock Bowers.
We tried to talk to him at the beginning of the season. We tried to tell him.
Yeah. Yes, he has been that guy, I think. I mean, he's tied in number 1 right now in PPR. 6 points ahead of George Kittle.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, it feels like it's the Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers show there. You kind of sprinkle in an Abdullah, you sprinkle in a Meyer on the Oakland side. When Ritter came in, they weren't as their ability to move the ball wasn't as effective. It seems like there was times where Ritter wasn't working through his progressions, but you just can't help but to think that the scheme this week would be to draw it up for Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers again, just as they did the previous weeks. I know that Brock's coming off of a sort of a down game, but the previous game before that, he had over 30 plus fantasy points. I just continue to see him having really strong performances moving forward. That last week is more of a blimp, more of them taking him away a little bit more than it was anything else. But I just foresee him continuing to have success towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, kind of looking at rostering percentage, I mean, it looks a lot like Patrick Mahomes is over-owned when I expect Brock Bowers to be owned more than what he is. I mean, is that what you're seeing, Phil?
It's a little tough. Ownerships definitely aren't going to be updated until after
tomorrow, more than like.
But
yeah,
I want to go to the run in this game for my captain. I think I want to go Kansas City running back.
I like that.
I think that's going to be the way. I think it was like Noah Gray had 2 touchdowns last week, something like that. Like, they're getting him more and more and more involved. It just, with Kelsey being the price that he is every week, and his production this year has not been there, I can't go there in the captain anymore. I think you still need to roster him and have faith in him, but I don't think you go captain.
You talking about you said Kelsey?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I think he's more of a decoy in the last minute, like emergency valve, like break glass in case of fire kind of shit, you know, like that's really what I feel like Travis Kelce is there now. And he has the voodoo queen there in the booth all the time. So this game is another one of those games that's in a colder climate. I bet it's probably going to be cold in Kansas City on Friday. Game time is 8:00. 32. Freezing. No precipitation, or 10% chance of precipitation, but that don't really mean shit in the grand scheme of things. But it's colder. Another cold weather team. Aiden O'Connell could be coming back. He's coming off of IR. He could be coming back as the quarterback here. And the Isaiah Pacheco show might be back too. So
that's what I was thinking.
I know that's wishful thinking on our part, but I don't dislike Kareem Hunt, but Kareem Hunt was banged up this past week too. So
I've won a Showdown. It was last year with A-Chain as the captain and Mostert in the lineup. So it is not hard to say Pacheco as a captain and Kareem Hunt in the lineup, and it still be, Showdown worthy.
Win them. Yep. Even in that last matchup, Kareem Hunt had 16 touches on the ground, and I believe 4 targets in the air. I still think that they like him in the pass game. And from a PPR perspective, just a handful of catches, maybe even 50 yards on the ground could be actually a solid performance for you season long. So I'm still not ready to turn the card. I said a few weeks ago that I think he might even be a diamond in the rough, Kareem Hunt. I could see this backup kind of being similar, this running back room being similar to what you kind of see with Montgomery and Gibbs, where they're going to use a 2 running back system kind of to plow forward instead of just only relying on one. It seems like when they start to do that, Pacheco starts to pick up these nagging injuries. I think they want to kind of really start to kind of spread that around a little bit, maybe get 15 and 10, 12, 17.
I mean,
per.
Pacheco's leg was broke. Okay, like his leg was broken, and it's been 9 weeks. I don't think you rush him back full go as in the cold, and you try to keep him fresh, and you keep the rotation of Kareem Hunt,
I got
him,
special juices in the NFL, man.
Samaje P.
They
Ryan.
rub some motherfucking deer antler on a broken calf, and it just automatically heals in a week. Dude. So you gotta be careful. One of us break our leg, 9 weeks, we're gonna need like 9 months. But
Yeah.
and NFL, man, they just put some injections here and there. They put some lotion on there every day, and they sprinkle that blood on there, and dude's good to go next week.
Have a shaman dancing around and saying, telling them that you'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a little early, but that I like. Like I said, I think it's all straight. Like the Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers, maybe sprinkle in a little bit of DJ Turner and Trey Tucker where you can. But other than that, I don't really trust none of them. Like I really don't. Especially not really knowing 100% sure what the questionable Alexander Madison, Zamir White, Amir Abdullah, that guy Dylan Lobby's ass didn't even make it out on the field. Literally won my matchup this week with a damn goose egg on the board. Thank you, Saquon Barkley. So
Crazy.
Called that one in the captain spot. I didn't know. We don't talk about that game, but did say to play him if you had him, and I did, and did in FanDuel, did not in DraftKings, which I thought I did, and I looked at my lineups, and I was like, I went back and put Jalen Hurts in. What the fuck was I smoking on? I was thinking, oh yeah, he's gonna steal all the touchdowns, but yeah,
I'm trying to remember who I played, and it was working and it was doing good, but I did not have Barkley in the lineup at all. No, I didn't have Brown. Hold on, where's my fucking recents at? Is this the game? That's the Ravens. Damn, I don't know how far I gotta go back. Oh, Philly. Oh no. Is this it?
Yeah, I placed third. I placed third in a FanDuel contest, and shit, bro, that shit was like blowed up because like I just forgot like how well, if you could do well in FanDuel, how bad it splits. Because the pricing on shit is outrageous.
I had Cup as my captain, which wasn't doing too bad, but I had no Barkley.
Yeah,
in a single entry, so I was like, "Oh, that's dead, dude." Every time, like if Cup scored or anything went my way, nothing because I didn't have Barkley.
I want to say something to Justice Hill. Justice Hill, if you're listening, or if this gets back to you, thanks for screwing me on Monday night. Like literally, you didn't exist, and I've told myself to never not play you. But this was single entry. I did not need you in a single entry lineup. And what happens? You come out there and ruin it. You ruined it. You fucking ruined it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Justice Hill. So, yeah, I always told myself, don't play Justice Hill ever again because he's going to come back and bite you in the ass. But I only do single entries on that Monday night slate. And what happens? Yeah, he just blows them up.
First off, dude, I wish he would have popped off for you because that would have mean Derrick Henry didn't pop off. I had like
he did pop. Justice Hill ruined me out of the lineup.
Oh, because he popped off?
I didn't have him because he scored that touchdown and it blew me up.
I needed him to take more running attempts from Henry, man. I had like another 9-leg parlay, everything covered, and I had under 94 rush yards for Derrick Henry. And he had it was looking all right for a little while, and then it just got worse and worse. And then out of nowhere, he did like a 70-yard run. I was like, all right, dude. I look and my bet's already in the lost category. Like fucking Hard Rock already moved my bet over to completed and lost, dude. I was like, no way, man. No way. I was going to pay like $3,000.
Well, in this game really fast, Kansas City wins this one. I don't even think that we need to really even keep.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs, but I don't like the 42.5. I say it plays under. I don't think they're going to score that much in this division matchup.
27 It's a 7 straight touch right now. It's a full touchdown to Kansas City, but I think that moves possibly, especially if that Q tag drops off of Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's worth half a point. So, but yeah, no that I told, what is it? I told
your Cheeks.
Yeah, Cheeks question. Otner and Joku. So Cheeks, if you're still here, buddy. Otner and Joku. This is a little bit early, but
yeah, I don't even know who's playing.
Let's see the matchups.
So you got Otton against Carolina, and then Joku. What did they play on? They had to play on Sunday night. Yeah, they played the Broncos on Sunday night.
Otton plays Carolina, so that's a good matchup. Who the fuck does Cleveland play?
They played the Broncos on Sunday night.
Oh,
I don't like that matchup.
I don't either.
Give me
Otten.
Give me Otten. I
Otten.
just think that Denver's defense just been too tough this year.
I feel like this is the one. Jameis comes back down to earth, and it's in Denver too. Jameis ain't getting lucky like beating playoff worthy teams multiple weeks in a row. He did it. He got lucky against the Browns. He got lucky this last week against the Steelers. I think he turns into a pumpkin, if you will, this week. And I think it comes at the expense of David Njoku. I think that you ride Otton because Baker Mayfield and Otton they're humming, man. Like, I just feel like he's got to go to him. He's got the better quarterback. Otton does at this point.
Yeah, Carolina's dog shit.
Yeah.
And you got Domo.
Oh, yeah, Domo. So Domo says, I was offered JT, George. So must be Jonathan Taylor, George Pickens, and Evan Ingram for Bucky Irving, Najee, and MHJ. And his current tight end is Laporta. His wide receivers are Puka, CD, and the running backs are Achane and Tracy.
Half PPR, 2 flex.
Ooh.
Leave this one to you guys.
So Jetta Pickens and Evan Ingram. Well, I have Evan Ingram in one league. Know somebody else that has him in another in their PPR league, and he's not done shit for them, either one of us, all season. George Pickens has become more sometimey than he used to be sometimey.
Boomer bust.
And Jonathan Taylor is just Jonathan Taylor is the best of the best.
Solid. But I would just stick with the Irving. I think has some upside. Najee's had, I believe, not the last game, but the previous 3 games.
You're not
over 100 yards
Evan Ingram
rushing.
for Sam Laporta.
Marvin Harrison Jr. should start to see a little bit more offensive production as the season goes along, gets more comfortable in the offense. I would roll with what I have.
I think you're Devon Achane and Tyrone Tracy, especially this week. Tyrone Tracy is going to get you. You're going to play. You want to play maybe Achane and Tracy both because their matchups are okay. Achane's going to have to be, especially because we were talking about earlier that it's going to be a colder game. It could be slow, but it could also be just a full-fledged track meet, run the ball game, you know. But I don't think that you're unseating Puka, CD for George Pickens, and I don't think that you're taking Laporta out for Evan Ingram, and it's half PPR. Evan Ingram, I mean, I'm not a Jags fan, but I have him in half PPR, and he's not done shit for me. Absolutely nothing. I am the worst team in the league in this half PPR league because of shit like that. Colts players and Jags players because they can't score. It doesn't work.
Yep.
They're awful because they can't get in the end zone. Like literally, I was a big proponent beginning of the season, 14 touchdowns last season, Evan Ingram. And now he hasn't, I don't even know if he has maybe more than 2. So,
and I think he also had over 100 catches last year, and this year is just plummeted. Whether it's injuries to the quarterback, scheme issues, it's just not working out. I wouldn't approve of that even as a diehard Jags fan to take on Evan Ingram. I just again think your lineup's solid. You just got to kind of
114 catches. My bad.
And
it's 4 touchdowns. Yeah, he's not a half PPR machine.
No,
like he's not.
No, there's not enough touchdowns.
Like there are a lot of catches, but I mean he's not even. But he's had 49 catches, and he's looks to have this season. He's on pace to have his worst year as a pro, and there were some bad years there in New York. So I think that you're good, and you're giving up. I think you're giving up too much with Bucky, Najee, and Marvin Harrison for what you're getting in return.
Agreed. All right.
But yeah, man. We got a few more. Y'all want to anybody ask more questions? We want to we'll sit around just for a couple more minutes. We want to get to pre-Thanksgiving celebrations. I got to go down here and baste my turkey. Hiawatha. Anybody remember scary movie? I based a turkey with my small head.
It's like, I don't know what this is, but I lick you too.
My germs.
Yeah.
My germs.
Yeah. I gotta make that and okay. So you guys call it stuffing or you call it dressing?
Stuffing.
Stuffing.
Really? Brad, I would expect it to be well, maybe you
fuck called stuffing dressing.
It's called dressing, man. It's called dressing.
Oh fuck! This ain't no Italian dressing, man.
It's not stuffing. It's dressing. You don't
stuff it in the turkey when you make it.
At the end of the day, I don't care what they call it. If it's good, I'm happy. Like I'm scooping that thing over, putting it onto the plate.
You talking about?
And I'm going to town, man. I'm going to town.
My mama's recipe, God rest her soul. I have that recipe like ingrained in my brain, and that's something I got to make that tonight. And Seema made this bomb ass banana pudding, dog. Like it shit is fire. Like so good that the neighbors are like, "Hey, can we get some of that? Can we pay you to make that shit?" So, but yeah, but no, anybody else got questions? We'll answer them. If not, you can bring them to the show on Saturday. We'll answer them there for you. Again, we appreciate it. Everybody that pops in and obviously people like Sports for You, John, if you're still here, I know you might be hopped over to Sports for You Wrestling, but if you still see it, we appreciate you. We appreciate Mock 10 Breaks. They sent us a few more cards, but talking about a game that we talked about, Devon Achane right there.
Let's go.
So a little bit of Miami Dolphins action. So we appreciate them. But yeah, guys, girls, children of all ages, we appreciate you guys, and we wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving, fun Black Friday. We hope everybody gets big wins, and then we will see you guys on Saturday. So
let's get it.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all.
Have a good one.
See y'all later.